Often our behavior is due to choosing to allow all the baggage from the past to creep in, and it affects every aspect of our life, like we've talked about so many times before, y'all. Welcome to Get Your Rear in Gear with Lorie. I'm your host, Lori McAfee. It's January and we're still on choices, y'all. But I'm going to have to be honest. 2 episodes that I had videoed and recorded for you, something happened. One of them I deleted, so I'll take the blame for that one. The other one, I have no idea. There's no sound to it. So one of them I know what it's on, and that's not what this podcast is going to be about. Today, it's just something that I saw and I thought, hey, that's a good topic to talk about today. And what that is just the choice of a reset. And I mean, like, you can't turn back the hand of time, but we can choose to make from today forward different. And a lot of times what that is like, it's a new norm. You're going to make a choice to live life differently. And we all have things that have happened to us that we would change if we could. But like I said, we can't change those from the past, but we can make from today to our future, we can make that differently. And what if, the revolutionary act of a reset is exactly the regimen that we're all looking for? But what does that look like? And I think we have to first start by defining a reset, and that is to set again, to fix in a new or different way. And this means that it's something that no one likes. It's to change. It's the choice to change. And in order to change, a big dose of humility must take place. And that is the way that we heal the pride that has so infected us. And I think that a lot of that comes along with when we choose to change, that means things are different. That means that we are a different person. So sometimes that means we're not going to hang out with the same people we were hanging out with before. We're not going to do some of the same things that we did before. Life for us is going to look differently. And a lot of times that means that we have to swallow our pride to do things differently. I can remember different choices that I've made, and people are like, why do you do that? And I'm like, well, that's because this is the choice that I've made. And, and I've had people who don't want to be friends with me because of choices that I've made to be different. And that's okay. I'm not the same person that I was because of the choice to reset who I am into the person that I was actually created to be. Which that's the weird thing, is that most of us, we don't really know who that is. But I want you to make a choice this year to choose to reset your life, to be different and to be the person that you were created to be. The vulnerability of a reset, it's a scary thought. And honestly, that vulnerability, it makes me want to curl up into a ball and hit the pause button. Like, I don't want to do anything. But the problem with the pause is that when, I peel myself apart again and I press play, I'm the same. Nothing changed. And that pride that's been lying dormant until my life was on play again, it comes back to life. And my thoughts, actions, reactions, they remain unchanged and with the potential to be harmful because, when you think that you've made some changes, but you've not really dealt with some things, then that's still there and they're growing. And we keep feeding that. Often our behavior is due to choosing to allow all the baggage from the past to creep in. And it affects every aspect of our life, like we've talked about so many times before, y'all. Never fully grasping peace with your past, present, or your future. And it's crazy because here's the thing about this. And I talked to someone today who's actually a missionary, and he's a missionary in Africa. And he said, the thing I love about it is they live one day at a time. They don't worry about today. They don't think about yesterday, or they don't worry about tomorrow. They don't think about yesterday. They only focus on today. And our church is doing Experiencing God. And that was one of the things it says, is that you live one day at a time with Jesus. And so when we don't have that peace, in order to find that peace, we must obtain from a result of our past, is I must invite Jesus into that reset process and allow him to set your mind on the things above, which that's scriptural. And once we release ourselves to the vulnerability of the reset, the internal transformation has a cascading effect, and it is visible externally. I will have to say that in the work that I've done to be where I am today and who I am today, I question myself sometimes, because I'm like, okay, so have I really made a change? Like, does this really not going to affect me? And the truth is, it really doesn't. I've really made a choice that when things come into my life that I can't control, I know I can't control it. And I don't try. I'm not perfect at it, y'all, but I really do not try. Throughout the Word of God, there are numerous verses that reveal the promises of God to restore, reset, and renew believers. In Lamentations 5:21, the author Jeremiah, he prayed the following to God: "Restore us to yourself, Lord, that I may return. Renew our days as of old." Just as Jeremiah was heavily burdened by the condition of his nation and longed for a reset to the former place of devotion and love to God, God will do the same for us. God did not forsake his people. His people, he didn't forsake them, and they returned to him despite their past. So no matter what you've done in your past, when you make a choice, let that go, and you no longer live there, and you no longer allow that to control you, then you're able to move forward into that reset and into that renew that God has created you for. And he patiently awaits for us to return to that, y'all. Like I said earlier, the hands of time cannot be turned back to its original state. But if you're breathing, you can return to your Creator God. Jesus provided the ultimate reset button on the cross. He became completely vulnerable by offering all mankind the choice to choose him through his death, burial, and resurrection. So I know this has probably been all over the place as you've been listening to it today. But what I want you to understand is that you're never too far gone to choose to make the change, to come back to a life that you were intended for, that you were created for. And if anything today has resonated with you, I would like to hear about it. I really want to know your thoughts on the choice to choose to reset. And what does that look like? And what's going to be your reset for 2024? Mine is going to be to live a more surrendered life. And what does that look like? I don't know yet, because I'm not fully surrendered, so I can't tell you that right now. I can tell you that it's a work in progress. And so I hope that you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you've been able to take something away from it. And if you've liked it and you've enjoyed it, please subscribe so that you won't miss another episode. Sometimes I have it all together and sometimes I don't. And today, in reading through what I was going to talk about, when I got the message that one of my episodes doesn't have a sound to it. And I chose to go back and to look through some things and see what I could talk about today with a choice. But the choice is a reset. So are you going to choose to reset your life and live your life as a person that you are created to be? I choose to do that. And I hope that you choose to do the same. Until next time, keep moving forward to be the person that God created you to be. And remember, all your life you've had a choice. And remember the day that you decided. Thank you for joining me today on Get Your Rear in Gear with Lorie. And I'll see you all next week.